Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Gopi Gita Mataji. We welcome you all to today's Wednesday Sanga. Hope everyone's having a very nice week. Midweek, it's a nice refresher. So today's class will be given by Her Grace Gopi Gita Mataji on the topic of dealing with difficulties. Just a background about Mataji. She's joining us for the first time here, and Mataji's from China and has joined Krishna consciousness in 1998. She took first initiation from His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and second from His Holiness Indidumna Swami Maharaj. She does a lot of services, including online preaching, which she's been doing for almost 20 years now, and significant preaching in China for years. She has also translated many books such as Mahabharat, Ramayana, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, Chaitanya Mangal, and many more. And she currently lives in Mayapur Dham. So we're very happy to have you today, Mataji. Thank you so much for joining. And all over to you.
Thank you, Ananga Mohini Mataji. And thank you to Ramachandra Prabhu for inviting me. I have to admit one thing. All these years, I speak mainly to the Chinese audience. So I hardly give class in English. This may be just a few times in my life. So in case anytime you hear something strange, please maybe just understand, maybe that's Chinese. But I will try my best. I hope it's okay. And this is a very nice thing. It will be a very interesting topic for us also. Usually devotees, even devotees or non-devotees, whoever we are in this life, life is just inevitably giving us lots of different kinds of difficulties to different degrees. Sometimes life is like a sky is collapsing, but put in so much trauma, and sometimes maybe just through, we also went through small difficulties. But anyway, whoever who live in this material world, even inevitably we go through lots of different kinds of problems, difficulties, sufferings, or troubles. Just a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, I was chatting with a couple. We were talking about this topic. And that time I was saying, life is a school. And immediately this devotee added one sentence, and Saturn is a schoolmaster. You know Saturn? If we have any idea about the astrology, we know everybody is controlled by 9 planets. One of them is Saturn. Saturn, let's say it's like actually he's very spiritual and he's like a teacher. But his special feature is that if he finds that his students need to learn something or have some problems, he will give you all kinds of difficulties to force us to learn. And if we don't want to learn, we just want to hide in a corner, he's just going to add more difficulties, to smash you until we are ready to stand up and say, okay, I'm ready now. So this is a Saturn. Life is a school, and Saturn is our schoolmaster. He's just trying different ways, especially difficult ways, for us to learn and grow up. In the school, we all been to schools, different schools, we learn different things. In the schools, we have good students. We have bad students also who don't pass the exams. Those who are usually weak in learning, they like to run away from classes. They don't like exams, and they get more frustrated after failing the exams. But for those who are eager to learn and who have a bigger capacity in learning, they are not afraid of exams, but they welcome the challenge to see how well they've studied. And this is for the kids who are younger in the age, who learn by sitting in the classroom. But in the school of life, exams become much more real, and the results affect our life in a much more tangible way. That's when That's why when many of us fail in our life's exams, we become bitter in the heart. Many even decide to quit school in the middle, like they give up spiritual life, or many commit suicide. But if you are brave and ready to learn and know where to take shelter, then actually every minute is a chance to increase our wisdom and understand Krishna's love for us. I'm saying Krishna because here I know we are all devotees. More or less, we are all on a spiritual path, so we don't have to dwell too much on the material platform. I mean, everybody goes to go through the difficulty, either devotees or non-devotees. But especially for us devotees who are practicing spiritual life, then we have a much bigger capacity to learn, and we have a huge best master who are helping us back up all the time. So whether we are non-devotees or devotees, we all go through the difficulty, and we all have, sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed, and we make it. Usually, so those who are weak, they become like very frustrated and very down in life, and all kinds of depressions and suicide cases. But I believe all those who come to Krishna consciousness and stay belong to the second categories. Because in staying with Krishna consciousness, we automatically choose to depend on Krishna to start a war against the huge army of his material energy. So here, let's discuss how to take full shelter of Krishna, his representatives, and his teachings, while fighting against the material energy who is creating difficulties for us all the time. First, I guess this is the first topic for all spiritual seekers, and including those who go through difficulties and want to know how to deal with them. First topic is always to find out who we are. We need to, especially when we're dealing with the life's difficulties or challenges, we need to, if before that we can prepare ourselves to have a clarity and to know the higher purpose in our life, and everything becomes easier. If you're familiar with the Mahabharata, you remember Duryodhana when he put the Pandavas in the forest for the exile, and in order to show off his opulence and whatever, he went to the forest. They had a huge party, but then he was caught by the Gandharvas. Eventually, the Pandavas saved him, and even Karna, everybody else deserted him. So Duryodhana was so much humiliated, and he was ready to commit suicide. No one can convince him. Everybody came, Shakuni, Dushasana, and even Karna came back to try really, really hard to convince him to stay and to cheer up. But Duryodhana, because for him it was too difficult, because he threw his Pandavas in so many difficulties, and he gave them so much trouble, and now he was coming to show off how much he's enjoying life, and then he was caught. Almost got killed, and the Pandavas, whom he was intending to humiliate, came to save his life. So for him it was too much. He wanted to commit suicide. And at this point, you remember the Danavas. This Danavas and Daityas, when they heard about Duryodhana's readiness to kill himself, so they did some yagya, and some goddess appeared, and they asked her to take Duryodhana's subtle body to them, and they started to speak to him. They said, actually, you are the result of our austerities. You have a very special identity and a special mission. We are all here trying to back you up. We are all the Danavas and Daityas, they already took birth in the world as the Kshatriyas, lots of kings who were ready to support him. You have a very, very strong backup, and we already made the plans how to kill, Arjun. If this didn't work, we're going to try that one. So you don't worry. You are a spiritual character. So Duryodhana, when he heard this, he completely recovered himself, and he decided that I'm not going to tell anybody what happened to me, but his determination to stay alive, his determination to continue the fight and he was ready to gather a huge army just to prepare for the war. That was, the main reason was like on the human platform, he already lost his hope because he went through too much trouble, too many difficulties for him in that sense, because he, for the Kshatriyas, the insult was worse than death. But because he was told by somebody that he had he had a special identity, he had a special mission, and then he had a huge army to back him up, then immediately he regained his life and his hope and his determination. Why? Because he realized that he is not an ordinary entity anymore. Actually, this is not the best example, but for us, we can still take some lessons from this. When we think we are just ordinary being and we are just throwing in this the ocean of difficulties, waves of three modes of nature, threefold in miseries, we may easily lose hope in our struggles. But if we find out actually every living entity is a very, very special to Krishna, who is the Supreme Master, Supreme Lord, who is the control of everything and everybody, and he has so much love for us. Especially he has a higher purpose for every one of us in life. Then we immediately feel empowered. We are not alone anymore. So we have to realize one thing: we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I guess many of us already heard this. So our real identity is we are spiritual beings. We are just going through these different planetary systems in this material, going through different experience to learn certain things. And learning means we have to go through difficulties. Actually, we learn much more when we go through difficulties. If everything is enjoyable, then we just take it easy. So this is the first thing. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience in order to learn and to grow. So that means every one of us have a higher purpose in our life. And that is to realize gradually to realize who we are, to reestablish our eternal relationship with the Lord. And gradually knowing that, and then we start to become more and more detached from this world and less attached to this material world. So, but in a sense, while we are in this world, we like to make some plans. So we need to be very, very clear that all our plans should serve this higher purpose that is given by Krishna. So inevitably, our plans are when the plans are thwarted, we need to when we say the plans, we always have to know the plans are serving the purpose. So even sometimes the plans don't work out. The example of the striving, when we want to go to a certain destination which is far away. Sometimes we may maybe get a little careless in our driving or get whatever, some problems. We may lose our direction. We want to go to a certain point, but we got kind of distracted. So at this time, what we do is we set up the GPS. Maybe in the beginning we already have the GPS, but we get lost on the way. So when we find out that we are lost, and then we reset the GPS, so the GPS will reroute. From okay, now we get to another point. We're a little bit going along the way. We were supposed to, the straight line between the two spots. The straight line is the shortest, but sometimes we got distracted. We go to another way, go to another direction, so we actually get farther from our goal. And this, if we reset our GPS, so we're going to reroute. So we're going to set a new route to go to still continue to drive towards the certain destination. Means when our plans in life, sometimes they don't work out as we desire or as we planned. So at this time, we have to know if we know our higher purpose, then we'll not get lost. We'll not get frustrated. We will not, completely lose hope in life. Then we know our direction is there, our destination is there. We just readjust our plans. And another thing is when we live our life, we have a very strong tendency to get lost in the details. Every day, so many things and so many people. So we get easily get entangled. We easily get entangled with the people and certain things that happen in our life. So we have to be very, very careful. We don't live on the surface. We don't live just on the external things. We always need to have our own gambira. Means we always have to find our certain sacred space every day in our life, a certain space that we can only deal with Krishna, deal with our own heart, to find out who we are and what's our purpose in life. And like this, we get, so our intelligence is still sharp and we don't get lost in the details in life. So we have our own space for introspection, and we most important, we tune in to Krishna's channel in order to see Krishna's message without hindrance. No matter how powerful the external force is, we should be very careful never to lose our inner force. We need to take the time to go to the devotees association. We listen to the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, to the scriptures, to regain the will, to regain the clear understanding, to regain the inner force in order to continue our fight. With Krishna sitting on our chariot, no external force is too powerful to conquer. Even if right before the war, that's why just before the war, Arjuna chose to hear the Gita. Because he already, at that time, because he already lost his will to fight. So he needed the inner connection to be able to fight, to gather all his strength, to pick up his Gandhiva bow again, to fight the tremendous war that was in front of him. So we always need to take the time and space to be with ourselves, to be with Krishna only, not to be with the crowd all the time. Then we'll not get lost in the details in our life and get entangled and completely forget who we are and where we are. So this is the general understanding to know who we are and what is our mission and higher purpose in life, so that we don't get lost don't lose our vision in life. This is really most important fundamental point. Okay, then we come to the attitude while dealing with the difficulties. We need to have the right attitude. We need to understand. I say all this out of my own experience for the last few years. I've learned a lot. I've been doing lots of soul searching, looking for lots of answers. And then that's what I said. Through the difficulties, we learn the most. Before that, I was always thinking, before we have Krishna consciousness, we were all thrown in the ocean of waves of, through modes of nature and the law of karma, action and reaction, through those miseries, feel like actually this is a very impersonal world. But then gradually, we realize that actually everything, even in this world, is running on the principle of love from Krishna. For those who practice spiritual life and for those who don't practice spiritual life, it's just like why we have the Vedas. Some people go through the Vedas little by little to elevate the quality of their life, but just they have to take a long time to gradually rise up to the highest point. But for us, the devotees who are already doing service, then we are taking a lift, a very, very fast way. But for whoever who was in this world, because whatever we are doing now, we are 11, everybody of us, every one of us, we are all very dear children of Krishna. We are all very dear to him. We are all parts and parcels of him. So he loves all of us equally, just based on our individual will and based on our different pace of growing up. So he's giving different things, setting up different circumstances for us to learn according to our situation. But everything is running on the principle of love. For every one of us, we have a higher purpose in our life. So when we have difficulties, I got a list of a few points, like how while facing difficulties, what should we do? First is don't fight. I know this is very difficult. Don't exercise control. I know this is super difficult, especially for the men or for those who like to take control in life, who are in a leadership situation or role in the life. But you remember as at the start of the Bhagavad Gita, in front of the Kurukshetra war, where everybody is ready, just like huge army already gathered, when everybody was like in their position ready to fight. Krishna, Arjuna made a mistake now. He was trying to be the leader. Although Krishna was here already, Krishna agreed to be his charioteer to drive his chariot. Arjuna here, he was trying to be the leader. He ordered Krishna to take the chariot between the two armies. If he didn't do that, everything would just, go on with usual. But then, of course, the Bhagavad Gita will not be spoken. So this is all Krishna's plan. But Arjuna here, he was trying to be the leader. He ordered Krishna to take the chariot between the two armies, and he wanted to see what was there. Because of this misconceived attempt at imposing the human will on the divine will, this was the cause of his confusion and dejection, because he made his own decision. He took the initiative. Krishna, you please do this. And now I have this desire. And just because of it, he got completely confused and he lost his will and he lost his strength to pick up the Gandiva bow slipped from his hand. He lost everything. He completely lost the desire to fight. Okay, so this is the point that it's really, really, really important when some things happens. Of course, we should always try our best to do our best in this situation, but never try to fight against what is happening to us, and don't try to exercise control. This is first thing. Second thing is to try to trust Krishna. We need to trust the process. We need to know Krishna is much bigger, and he's a ultimate controller and enjoyer, and he is our best well-wisher. He knows what is best for us, and he can do he is already doing what is best for us. So we need to develop this vision of trust in Krishna. Krishna, here now, what is your desire? And I know whatever you arranged, whatever is happening to me is for my best. But please open my eyes so that I can see this. The third thing is to accept. Accept difficulties. This is really difficult part. But because they are, whether we accept it or not, they're coming anyway. You know the difference between voluntary austerity and forced austerity. Voluntary austerity, for example, we have Dhruva Maharaj. He voluntarily accepted austerity to live in the forest. He was doing austerity, for example, fasting. What is the difference between fasting and starving? So Dhruva Maharaj, he was voluntarily doing the fasting. And he was doing in the forest for 6 months. For the first month, voluntarily, he chose to only once in the first month, only once in 3 days, he was eating only fruits and berries named Kapita and Badara to keep his body alive. That was the first month, 3 days. Every 3 days he ate some Kapita and Badara, the fruits and berries. In the second month, only once in 6 days, he only ate some dry grass and leaves. And in the third month, every 9 days, he was drinking only water. In the fourth month, he became even more intense. Every 12 days, he would inhale air only once. And in the fifth month, he already completely controlled his breathing. He was just simply standing on the egg. He didn't even breathe. And as a result, what happened after 6 months? Because as part of his yoga practice, he closed all the holes in the body, and consequently the universe within his body became choked up. Everybody, people couldn't breathe anymore. That was his power, the power of his austerity, because he did this all voluntarily. But you just imagine if somebody is forced to fast. Forced to fast means not that he voluntarily wanted to fast from food or water. He just had no food. He didn't have anything to eat. How long can we last without food? 1 week, maybe maximum, 2 weeks. then we lose everything. We lose our life air. And the most important, we suffer a lot because we didn't want to accept, I want to eat, I want to enjoy, and now I have nothing to eat. So the mentally you will suffer the most. You know, this is the difference between voluntary fasting, voluntary austerity, and forced austerity. So life, you know, he's throwing all kinds of austerities to us in many ways. Anyway, whether we accept it or not. But if we voluntarily accept these difficulties, means we're mentally prepared, and it becomes really, really much more easy. We become much more peaceful in the mind. If we suffer by force, we just lose the will to live. Okay, so this is accept. And the fourth point is to adjust. When the difficulties come, we adjust ourselves. We don't try to change the world because the world is not going to change for us. The only thing we can change is ourselves. So if we cannot change the direction of the wind, then we adjust our own, our direction. So adjust ourselves means we tune in again. We tune in to Krishna's channel. Don't ask why this is happening to me. I'm such a good person. I'm doing so many good things. I'm doing so much service. Why all this difficulties happening to me? Rather, we ask Krishna, what you're trying to teach me here. I know you gave me a purpose. You gave a mission in my life, and you're arranging everything to try to, bring me closer to my purpose. But I just cannot understand. It's too difficult for me now. I can't deal with it. So ask Krishna, what you're trying to teach me. What is my lesson here? How do you want me to grow now? Please show me. I can't see it. So when we find out gradually, if we really sincerely pray for like this, then Krishna will reveal the answer to us. So, and then we adjust ourselves, we tune in, and then Krishna's message can come to our ears and to our hearts more easily and faster. And becomes much easier in our life. And eventually, we also try to find out the reason of our life lessons, or find out the purpose of all that is happening. First is when difficulties come, we take responsibility. Means we know that everything is happening not by chance. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. To a big degree, it happens because of our own karma. So that this time we don't try to blame others. We know others are just instruments of our karma. They are just assistants in our learning. Also in Mahabharata, if you remember Bhishma Dev, he was Devavrata before. When Satyavati appeared, and when Shantanu, Maharaj Shantanu, he wanted to marry Satyavati, but Satyavati's father said, my daughter, I have to make sure my daughter's sons have to become the future kings, because this is written in her astrology. This is written in her destiny. So, by that time, this Devavrata was already becoming the king. He was supposed to become the king. He was qualified in every ways. But so this Maharaj Shantanu gave up, but in his mind, he was suffering. He was longing to marry Satyavati, and he couldn't do that. So his son Devavrata came to the father of Satyavati. So he said, "Okay, I'm not going to become the king," and then just to make sure, at this time, he said, just to make sure to fulfill the prediction in your life that your sons are becoming the king in the future. So I make a vow that I will never going to marry, so I will not have sons to fight against your sons, to fight for the throne. That time Bhishma said one thing to Satyavati. He said, the lines of fate never cross each other, so I bow down to yours. Means previously I thought I was going to become the king, but now we know for certain your sons are going to become the king. So the lines of fate never cross. That means your fate is going to become true. So I bow down to yours. So means I voluntarily give up the throne. So I will not become the king. You know, that means because their desires are conflicting with each other now. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Don't Bhishma, he didn't try to blame Satyavati. Why you fight against me? I was, I'm qualified. I'm the elder son. So I'm ready in every way to become the king. And now you come here in the middle to, stand in the middle. Why you fighting against my wish and my plan? So here's Bhishma, he said I bow down to yours, means he didn't try in any way to blame Satyavati. He did when our interests or when our plans are thwarted, he accepted it and he taken the responsibility. And we all know why Bhishma did. He couldn't marry, he couldn't sit on a throne. We all know the reason, because of his own karma. Although that time he didn't know anything, but he willingly accepted it. And he didn't try to blame Satyavati for, for fighting against his desire, not really his desire, but against the wishes of his father and whatever. So when difficulties come in our life, we need to take responsibility of whatever happens, that I'm at fault. Everything happening because of my karma. I did something improper in the past. So now I have to really accept the result, and I never try to blame others, especially those who are dear and near to us. We have the tendency in our families, this is all your fault. I'm writing everything, it's all your fault. So we need to take the responsibility. It's my responsibility to stand up and accept this is my fault. This is one thing. Another thing is, this is a path of self-realization. We are in we are learning the science of self-realization. We are not learning the science of others' realization. Means whatever happens, we try to find our own fault. We never blame others when difficulties come. Okay, this is one point. And also, karma is a very complicated thing. We tend to simplify it. We just think, I did this happened to me because I did this to others, or to you, to this person, to others person in the past. We just think like action and reaction, but it's more complicated than that. Another point, direction or line of thinking is because we tend to have some wrong thinking pattern or behavioral pattern in our life, maybe life after life. We're repeating because we have certain, some scars, different impressions in our life. So we learn a certain way to deal with certain things. So life after life, we repeat this because it's already in our system, but maybe it's wrong. And that's why we are having difficulties in our life. So this difficulty is actually a reminder or a chance for us to find out what is wrong in our thinking or behavioral pattern. We need to know one thing. We all, nowadays, many people are trying to find out, like, I'm having this difficulty because I was born and I grew up in this certain family and my parents have this certain pattern. They treated me this way, I suffered like this, that's why I'm having this problem. But we need to understand, again, take up this responsibility. We think it's not that the external difficulties cause our inner problems, but because we have internal problems, so we need this external situation to bring them out and to then heal them. Means, again, everything is running based on the principle of love. Krishna arranged all these things, or Yamaraj, or whoever, Mara Gupta, they arranged everything that is happening to help us to grow and to learn. Everything happens for a purpose, for us to learn and to grow and to gradually elevate our consciousness. So we don't blame the external circumstances also. These circumstances are just meant to help us to realize, to find out what is wrong with our inner, consciousness, and what is our lesson here. So we need, because we have this problem, we have this difficulty in us. That's why we need it. We need this the external circumstance to help us to find out, to bring them out, our problems. Then we gradually start to realize, and because we suffer so much because of this difficulty, so we start to heal them. We start to, search for answers. Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I once read in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, he gave a super example. He said, when the sick child is sleeping, but it's time for him to wake up and take medicine now. But because he's sleeping, so, time is passing. So a loving parent like mother will have to wake him up by pinching him. You know what it means? The sick child. The child is sick. We are all sick children. We have this sickness, we have that sickness, we have this different, mental problems, different problems in us, defects. So the sick child is sleeping, but we are sleeping, we don't accept, we don't realize we have problems. We think we are all right. Everyone else is at fault. It's not my fault. I'm right in every situation. We don't realize we are sick. So we are sleeping. But it's time for us to wake up and take the medicine now. Means now Krishna wants us to, to wake up, especially because now we have Krishna consciousness. Krishna is taking personal charge in our life. So he already decided this is time for us to grow. So this is time for us to wake up, to take the medicine, to learn, start to learn. But because we don't wake up, then what will Krishna do? Krishna, the father or the mother, will pinch the child to wake him up. But because he's so addicted to the sleeping, sometimes we are so addicted to sleeping, it's so comfortable in bed, in the dreams, we are having our dream world. We try in a dream, we can do whatever we want. So we don't want to wake up. So Krishna has to pinch us. Pinch us means to send us the difficulties. But sometimes we don't want to work, so we have to pinch harder. And still we don't want to wake up, and he has to again pinch harder. Means if we don't want to try to learn in our difficult situations, then he has to send more difficulties and more difficulties until one day, okay, let's say, okay, it's too much. I have to find out what's the problem here. I have to find out the answer. Then we start to search, we start to look for the answer, then Krishna will, everything become more clear. So the difficulty in our life is a pinch from Krishna. And we know if you don't want to get up when the alarm clock goes off, then Krishna will, make it louder. So more difficulties will come, and even more bigger difficulties will come. And it will become much, much more difficult. I have an example here, but anyway, we'll leave it for later. I guess you already got a point. So anyway, so here later, then we also, very importantly, we take this as a chance to learn and to grow. We know in our process, because we are already doing service to him, and Krishna, become very indebted, and he's more committed than ever. Krishna, so here now, but now in our process of learning and growing, Krishna now is a full-time teacher. He's dedicated to assisting us in our learning. And based on our own individual desire and karma, he orchestrates the external situations, and he offers internal guidance to accelerate our spiritual upliftment. Means again, now we have to tune in to Krishna's channel. We need to find out what is Krishna's message here. We try to ask Krishna not to fight, not to struggle, not to run away, don't want to try to escape. We just willing to open our arms. Krishna, okay, tell me, what do you want me to learn? How do you want me to grow? And what is my problem here? Please help to correct me. I'm ready to correct myself. Then it will become much easier. Because we know when we fight against the problems, then we suffer more, we really suffer more. I have personal experience, and I'm sure you also have the same. Okay, the next point is how to deal with the difficulties. We already talked about lots of mentalities, attitude, to know who we are and what kind of attitude we need to have towards the troubles in our life, the challenges in our life. And let's talk about how to deal with the difficulties. First, we need to find the good around the bad. Try to listen carefully. find the good around the bad things means there are bad things happening to us, but we try to find the good things at the same time. Also to find the good as a result of the bad. Later, I'm going to give a small example so to help us understand this better. Find the good around the bad, find the good as a result of the bad, and find the good that we have to cultivate in order to fight against the bad situation. Three things here. Okay, let me give an example. For example, a relationship breakup. That's very, very heartbreaking, right? Somebody whom we have dedicated ourselves to. We love this person so much. You know, he's our life, and suddenly he left me. So, and what is a good around the bad? This is a really bad thing. That's, you know, somebody I loved wholeheartedly suddenly left me. I'm left all alone here while struggling and crying. He doesn't even care. So what is the good around the bad? At this time when I'm in difficulty, see, first is then we turn to others for help. Some other devotees or friends, they start to come to offer their help, right? Guidance or assistance, give us consolation, spend time with us, trying to comfort us, spend time with us to help us. So when this is a good thing, we find friends. Another good thing is I start to have time, much more time, much more space, where I have time to think, to start to think about the whole situation, to start meditate on the whole, you know, the real purpose in life. I start to have time, more time and more space to study, to listen, to read, to chant, to think, and to ask and talk to Krishna. So many good things are happening. I have more friends, I have more time and more space. What is a good as a result of the bad? What is a good as a result of the relationship breakup? In this heartbreaking process, the good as a result, like again, I start to look for answers. I start to turn to Krishna for answers. I start to ask questions. I start to cultivate the inner strength. I start to learn about understanding how people feel, why he left me. What is the, you know, there must be some reason. I start to learn to cultivate forgiveness, tolerance, patience, so many good things. And what is a good that we have to cultivate in order to fight against the bad things? I know I'm suffering because I'm crying every day and all alone here. Even I have my friends, they can't spend time with me all the time. They can't be with me 24 hours a day. So I have so much time and space. And because I'm so weak now, I'm just crying, I'm suffering so much. So I know I have to turn to Krishna. In order to the good that we have to cultivate, what is the result? I start to chant more rounds. I start to be more regular in going to devotees programs, to attend a devotees program to get some spiritual strength. I start to look for answers. I start to read more books, more scriptures for the answer, because I want to know why this is happening. What is this problem? Why all this is happening to me? I start to listen to different senior devotees, to listen to the classes, to get more spiritual strength and inspiration, to find out the reason, and then to grow and get more spiritual strength to fight against the all this negative energy that is comes as a result of this. So this is a basic example, like find the good things around the bad things, find the good as a result of the bad, and find the good that we have to cultivate in order to fight against the bad. As a result, we just grow like anything among the difficulties. You remember the five Pandavas also, same thing happened. First, the father died, and then they came to Hastinapur, and the first difficulties, I mean, not many difficulties, but in the palace itself, in Hastinapur, first thing is Duryodhana tried to poison Bhima, remember that? And he pushed him into the river. And what was the result of that? Bhima came back with the strength of 10,000 elephants. And another time, next time, the Duryodhana tried to kill 5 Pandavas together with Kunti in the Lak's house. They wanted to kill them, burn them, you know. And what was the result of that? They ran away and then went to marry Draupadi. They got Draupadi. Draupadi was the most important figure in the whole Mahabharata, most powerful lady in their life. And then they were sent to the forest for 13 years. What was the result of that? Of so much suffering. They started to do all kinds of tapasya, especially Arjuna. He went to the heaven planets, and he pleased Lord Shiva. He got this Pashupata weapon. He got all the necessary, divine energy for fighting. He got all the divine weapons to be ready for the fight. He accumulated so much strength and also because they did so much tapasya austerity, they got so much spiritual strength also. So after every difficulty, they emerged much stronger than before, much more powerful than before. So this is the result of difficulty. And we all know the famous Queen Kunti's prayers. She has her reason to pray like this. Please send me more, more and more calamities. Because she realized the value of difficulties. Because she knows that through adversity, we grow the most in power. And we get the most mercy from the Lord. So Krishna was with them in every difficulty, in every situation. When the need called him, he was always there with them. So this is the first point. And then also, when the difficulties are difficulties, means they gave us a hard time. Means we may break up, we may collapse, we may cry, we may lose our strength, we may become weak, we lose our will, it naturally happens. So at this time, when we find ourselves a little weak, not as strong as before or energetic as before. So we take the time to heal ourselves. We take the time, we relax a little bit. Maybe a week before we can do 10 services, and now maybe we can do only one, or maybe not even one, but still at least we can still chant. We do the basic only. We do the basic. When we can do more, we do more. When we can do less, we do the minimum. But we always hold to Krishna. But at the difficult time, we take the time to heal ourselves. Also remember this sutra, very famous sutra. This too shall pass. When every difficulty, there was a sutra for, he said, the king was asking, what is this thing that can make me happy when I'm not happy? And what is the thing that can make me unhappy when I'm happy? Just this one. This too shall pass. Everything is temporary in this world. Nothing lasts forever, including especially the difficulties. If you study the astrology, actually, we can find that, we have the Jupiter, we have the Saturn, then we have Venus, we have Ketu. Ketu is very, very difficult. Ketu lasts only 7 years. And after Ketu is a difficult period in material life, but it lasts only 7 years. And after Ketu is a Venus period, lasts 21 years. So actually, the difficult period is very short. And actually, the good period is very long. Just because it's difficult, so we find it very long. And because it's so easy, we know happy times always fly. When we are happy, we find the times fly. So we feel it's very short. But actually, so Krishna, he arranges everything in a very, very balanced way. We need to, so we be careful. We just remind ourselves this is not going to last forever, even if it's difficult. Yes, very, very, very soon Krishna will reward us for our hard work. Okay, this is the second thing. And another thing is at this time, at the time of difficulties, we try to deepen the prayers. We pray for more strength. We pray for more wisdom. We pray for more courage. We love him through our ups and downs. That is the Shikshastaka number 8. Even if you handle me roughly by embracing me, or leave me brokenhearted by be not present before me. Still, you are my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Krishna, whatever you send me, if it's good, I love it. If it's bad, I also love you because I know you're just caring about me all the time. So we love him through our ups and downs. And then, and also we try really, really hard to surrender at the time of difficulty. You remember Arjun when he was fighting, he was, his son Abhimanyu was killed by the Kaurava army. And he made a vow to kill Jayadratha the next day before the sunset. And then it happened, at the time the sun was almost setting. And then Krishna, in order to help Arjun, he used his chakra to cover the sun, if you remember that part. What did Arjuna do that time? When everyone was shouting with joy in Kaurava's army, oh, Arjuna, now you throw yourself in the fire, you burn yourself because this is a vow, you have to follow your vow. That this time when Arjuna also thought the sun already set, he looked at Krishna, he said, Krishna, if this is your will, I'm sure it's for the best. I accept. He was meant to fight for the Pandavas. He was meant to to succeed, to turn victory. But now he made the vow, and he thought this vow was already, he already failed. At this time, so we pray. Maybe Krishna will send an answer. Maybe Krishna will answer the prayer like in a way we want, but maybe not, because Krishna knows the best. We don't. So at this time, even if we pray really, really hard, when things don't turn out the way we want, we still turn to Krishna and said, we surrender to your will. Krishna, if this is what you want, then so be it. I accept. I know you know the best. I don't. So we surrender our will to Krishna. And also the most important part, we have to show to Krishna our sincerity. We need to, especially to, like I said, we need to develop the good in order to fight against the bad. What is the good here? Now we have to cultivate, to develop. We need to strengthen our conviction with association of the devotees, because devotees always give us, lots of strength and courage and guidance. So with ABC, okay, this is the basic ABC. A is association, strengthen our conviction with association. B, books. We sharpen our intelligence with reading the books. C, chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is like the anchor of the boat. If the anchor is down, we're not going anywhere, Krishna. I'm here with you. So chanting Hare Krishna is the anchor. With Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna is eternally connected to us, with us, or we are eternally connected with Krishna, and Krishna is going to keep us here, because we're calling him for help. The Hare Krishna mantra is a prayer for service. So Krishna knows we want him. By doing this, we show him our determination. So Krishna will help us to put the anchor down so we don't go anywhere except his lotus feet. This is the ABC to help us to gain the strength and wisdom and courage, and to stay fixed in Krishna consciousness. And we know nothing is going to shake our faith. Nothing is going to take us away from the spiritual practice. Okay, finally, let's see what's the result of our difficulties. First and foremost, when we go through the difficulties in life, especially the big difficulties, big challenges in our life, and the big troubles, deep troubles in our life, biggest change or biggest profit or biggest whatever benefit we get is the transformation of the heart. If we really want a serious, we want to grow, we want to learn, we know life is meant to learn, to grow in our life. We have problems in life, all the difficulties sent to us for us in order to heal ourselves. So, and especially in the process, we feel so much, connected with Krishna, with the process and with the devotees. Then we will not become bitter and hard in our heart. Instead, We become gentle, loving, more gentle, more loving, and more adaptive. We become more flexible. I know I cannot expect, everything's happy, everything's fine, everything goes according to my desire all the time. So when the difficulties come, adjust myself. So we become more flexible, more adaptive. When we learn all this, we don't need to take courses about forgiveness anymore. Don't have anyone to forgive because no one is our enemy. They are all our friends, are assisting us in our growth. We thank him. We have lots of gratitude towards Krishna and towards those who send us the difficulties. Also, we exercise the muscles. We grow stronger. There was one story of this. There's one trainer of a bird to fly. The bird is so attached to the branch. He doesn't want to fly. He's afraid to fly. So he said he was spending a few weeks trying to train the bird to fly. The bird just doesn't. He just refused to fly. And his friend came. He said, he asked, what's the problem? He said, I'm trying weeks to get the bird to fly. He just doesn't want to fly. He's stick, so, he's stuck on the branch of the tree. So he said, you give me one day only, I'll make him fly. And second day, this person came back and the bird is flying. He was surprised. He asked, what happened? What did you do? He said, I did one very simple thing. What is it? Guess.
Cut the branch.
Yes. He just cut the branch that we have nothing to hold on anymore. Then we have to fly, we have to grow strong. And then so we exercise our muscle, we grow stronger. This is a very huge benefit of difficulties. And also we become more detached. We know there's not much to expect in this world. We become more surrendered. We know Krishna has his hand in everything that happens to us. We become less disturbed because we've been through so many things. Just the other day, one devotee was talking to me about her problems, this and that. She made so many mistakes. She felt she was very, very guilty. And then she was afraid that I would get disturbed by hearing this. So I tell him, I said, I've been through so many things and I've seen so many things. Nothing can disturb me anymore. So we become less disturbed whatever happens. And we gain more freedom in our heart. I'm not attached anymore. Whatever happens, I accept. So I got the freedom of my heart too. Then I can become more free to serve Krishna. More, before probably our heart is split in this material world, and we want Krishna, we want to enjoy in this world also. But now we realize there's not much to enjoy in this world. So we become more free. Then the heart is much more free, and also freedom from the negative energy because we've cleaned ourselves a lot. You know why people are sent to the hell to suffer. After the suffering, the heart becomes cleansed of all the impurities. That's part of it. So after the suffering, it's like, then the heart becomes much more clean and more free, and we can serve more wholeheartedly to Krishna, do the service to Krishna with more concentration, more focus, less distraction. And in the end, we become more connected with Krishna because we see Krishna's hand in all this that is happening. We become more connected. We learned how to depend on him. We learned how to deepen our connection with him. That's what happened to me. I find now, you lost the material world. If you don't hold to Krishna, then what do you have? You become completely empty. So in order to find the real direction in our life, then we naturally start to make efforts to deepen our connection with Krishna. And we experience Krishna more also like that because we turn more to him and he also shows more attention to us, more directly in a sense. Okay.